You've proven yourself well. You've demonstrated that you're capable of solving problems. I hereby appoint you to the office of bailiff of the hamlet of Pribyslawitz.
Me?
Hello and welcome to the Warhorse Studios Kingdom Come Deliverance stream. My name is Toby, and I guess you know me, but just to be sure, I'm the PR manager at Warhorse Studios, the clown who's doing all the speaking usually. But I have something very, very special for you today, because with me, I'm finally not alone. So with me is the senior designer Prokop, who actually is responsible for the From the Ashes DLC, right?
Yeah.
So
not only me, definitely. There's a lot of people are working on it.
But whenever there's a problem, I go to you.
That's true.
So that's
true.
He's the one to go to when it comes to Kingdom Come Deliverance, especially here in the From the Ashes DLC. And today we're going to show you exactly that. We are going to show you From the Ashes. We'll play it a little bit. Prokop will tell us something about the background, where we are, why we are there, and actually even historical background. So there's even more than just some village you have to rebuild. And we will go through it and we'll see how far we get. And in the end, I prepared some questions, but don't forget that we have a chat as well. So post your questions in the chat. I will try to have an eye on that. Of course, I will be playing, so it will be a little bit tricky, but I will try to make it happen. And in the end, we're going to talk about some question of yours. So
Sure.
anything
Definitely.
you want to say to the people?
Well, just the thing that we really have the chat open, so feel free to ask anything, and hopefully it will be useful for you and you'll enjoy that as much as we do.
So I guess let's start the game. Let's go inside it. And let me just take a look where we are. So Ratai, obviously. But the first thing I have to do is talk to the bailiff. But no, don't run away, mister. Because I have an important letter for you, sir.
We're in the middle of the DLC right now.
Exactly.
So
what a nice hat we have, right?
Cool.
But tell me, Prokop, the DLC. What is From the Ashes, and why am I standing in Ratai, and why am I giving some papers to the bailiff here?
From the Ashes is a small DLC. It's about basically we wanted to give the player his own house or his own home, and we thought that we could do slightly better. So in fact, he can rebuild his own village. He can his own not only one place but many, and have some useful things to do there. So the first thing you have to do is basically go there and explore. We already did it in this save. We already have the letter to the bailiff of Ratai to give him, and you'll see what he'll do right now.
Yeah, so let us check first some small settings again. Wait, let me just play here with this. And something is not right. But what is it? Let's tell a joke. So, From the Ashes, as you know from the DLC roadmap, if you can remember, that's the first DLC. So there are actually many more planned. The From the Ashes was the first premium DLC, even though it was
true.
So we have planned is for within 1 year, like from release up to next year, February, March, we'll see about that. We have planned 4 big DLCs. The first one is the From the Ashes. The second one is, and I don't know the name by heart, it's the Amorous Adventures of Bold Sir Hans Capen.
You know the name.
Oh, well, almost.
Yeah.
And the third one will be Band of Bastards, if I remember correctly. And the last one will be A Woman's Lot.
Exactly.
But if you take a look on the line, as we released it, there's like a artificial timeline kind of, and with the first one From the Ashes we came out around E3 or right after E3.
True.
And the next one with Hans Capon will be, we'll see. But on Gamescom I will show some new stuff, so it will be.
It's definitely in production already, so we will have something to show. Yeah. So, and I think important thing to say is that we will also release more free content like we did with the hardcore mode. So expect more.
Okay, and as you said, so not all of the DLCs are actually premium DLCs, or that's how I call them. So we have the tournament mode, which will be released with.
That's one of them.
Or with either it will be with the DLC or in close with it.
Somewhere around.
Yeah, we will see.
Like the hardcore mode.
Yes, but let's talk about not the future stuff, but let's talk about current stuff.
Yes.
Hear ye, hear ye.
It is hereby announced, in the name of Sir Hanush and Sir Divish, that you, the citizens of Ratai, as well as those who have found temporary refuge here, are permitted to move to the hamlet of Pribyslawitz, to the north of Tomberg Castle, wherein you shall be vouchsafed a new life and new dwellings, providing that you shall...
Just bumped into me, man.
Yeah, he's rude.
Rude. Asshole.
Those who accept this offer shall be exempted from payment of taxes for a period of 5 years. They shall be permitted also to make use of timber from the surrounding woods and water from the streams. The hamlet of Pribyslawitz lies in the domain of Sir Divish of Talmberg, and all who settle there shall be duty-bound to him. It is furthermore hereby announced that Henry of Skalitz is appointed to the administration of Pribyslawitz and the office of bailiff therein, which office and privilege have been conferred upon him by Sir Divish for loyalty and services rendered. I would therefore recommend that our Skalitz friends consider this offer very seriously, as nothing better is likely to come your way anytime soon.
I think one of the cool things we did here is what he said. It might have seemed like some random explanation or everything, but that's how it was. And even the small stuff, like the fact that they could use the timber and water sources, were very important. It's back there. You couldn't just go into the woods and take wood. Just was not possible. And another thing is that the situation for the players that already play the game up to some part, you know that there's a lot of Skalitz refugees in Ratai, so it made complete sense. And this is what they would do. They would search for new people, and these are the ideal people. So in the game, these are real Skalitz refugees living in the city, and they will really move to the new hamlet of Pribyslawitz.
But let's start with the beginning. So tell me, Prokop, where are we actually? Not the location. So we know that we are in Kingdom Come and that we are somewhere on the map there, especially in Ratai right now. But from the ashes, where exactly is it located? Can I start from the beginning? Do I have to wait to the end of the game? How is it?
The idea of From the Ashes, we wanted to incorporate it into the game as fluidly as possible. So we also wanted some place where you can spend your hard-earned money. One of the problem we had we gathered from the player feedback is, even though we tried, it's some players really easily gain a lot of money. So we want some place to spend the money during the gameplay, so it would feel like a complete part of the game. We really didn't want it to be completely separated, like you might know from other DLCs. We really wanted to feel like it's a part of the game. So once you beat Rand in the Pribyslawitz, once you basically get the bandits from the Pribyslawitz, you can play these DLCs, and you can play it anytime after. There are some places in the game when you have to finish an important story event before starting the DLC, like during a battle you can't start the DLC, or there's a small part in epilogue where there's like a important meeting of lords, so you can't just discuss a different thing. But it always ends, and right after that you can start the DLC and enjoy it, hopefully.
So exactly as you said, as Prokop said, so the game takes place, if for those who played it already, there's a big quest where you have to free Pribyslawitz, that's this part here, and right after that it triggers.
This is the cleared state, when you already moved bandits away, and the Ratai bailiff told you that yes, you're this guy, and after some time they will clear it like this. He has better head than you do. Obviously. By far.
By far. Okay. What I did, I was looking for the right saves because I saved the game and I forgot how I named the saves. However, where are we right now? So from, if you remember, from Rataj went up north.
Yes.
And we are right now in Pribyslawitz, which is here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And if we zoom in, if you can remember, like every place, like let's say for example Skeleton, every place has its own special map. So did Pribyslawitz, but with this DLC, well, in the game, in Pribyslawitz, little spoiler, there's the bandit camps, right? And you have a big fight there, and you have to
there's
fight.
a battle there.
There's a big battle there, and you have to fight Rund, which is the most badass.
He's the guy on the top of the church.
He's the most badass guy in the game, probably. And you have a special map with the DLC.
There's
we upgrade that.
Yeah, there's maybe some little cool thing. I don't think many people discovered that. But in a normal game, when you fight the Rund, he doesn't have a helmet, which is like easy way to kill him. And there's a little thing we added in hardcore mode, which many didn't see. We got him a helmet, so he's not now much harder because, yeah, but only in hardcore mode.
Only in hardcore mode. So we updated the map, and what can we see here? Some Jumanji thing going on here.
Sure.
Of course, monkeys getting drunk.
And another thing is this seems like an Easter egg, and it basically is, but it's not. It is still historical. If you really study the old historical maps, they add this kind of cool little weird things to the map. They really did that. They obviously were aware of other, I would say, monkeys and everything. They didn't live in Bohemia, and they still don't, but they were aware of it. So,
if you take a look at our programmers department, so we have here even some foxes and stuff, and this guy here on the right is actually Marius. We don't know Marius yet. Oh well, we know him
from
already.
The cutscene, yeah.
We know him from the cutscene, and we saw him in the quest before. But the map is the only map in the game which is actually kind of interactive, which means that these things here are highlighted, and this means that you can place different buildings on there. We will talk about this later. And the first buildings we have is our artificial Rathaus, or town hall, if you want to call it like that.
Oh.
And the remaining thing from before everything was cleared, as you can see, the only thing that remained from the vanilla game is the church. Let me see, do I have a horse? Of course, and I have Pebbles.
Yes.
Pebbles is of course the most loved horse, which is funny. It's the first horse you get, and most of the people keep it up to the end.
And it's the worst horse you can have. But
don't
his
say
heart is the biggest.
Don't say it. He has feelings too.
Yeah, true.
Or is it a she?
Well, you can look below.
I don't see anything. I don't know what you mean.
Okay. Just
so
lesson from zoology.
Pribyslawitz looks a little bit different than the fight earlier, right?
Definitely.
The first inhabitants are here in the camp there, so they are the refugees from your hometown.
Yes, they already moved there, so they're living there already.
Meanwhile,
and these were the guys that cleared the place.
They did a very good job.
Yeah, quite fast, didn't they?
Of course. Took you just a ride from Rataj to here to Pribyslawitz, and everything.
Very
was
effective
good.
workers.
Of course, you need those guys at home actually. So if I would do a renovation, I would call them. So, but everything is empty, as you can see. The only thing available still is the church on the top here, which is kinda wrecked, if you want to call it like that.
Totally.
And and we have our
glorious
town hall. Exactly, this shitty tent. However, there's more than a tent. There's a kettle, so you can eat stuff. Great.
Yeah.
But what is more important?
Such a luxury.
These three things are actually the most important thing of this DLC. The stash, which works somehow like a deposit, if you want to compare it like that. This book here is something like your
ledger book,
recipe book, whatsoever. It tells you everything about this DLC and wages and everything. And Marius is your first lieutenant, pretty much your officer, your manager, counting some stuff. So let's interrupt him and tell him
what news from Rataj?
What's new.
Well, the bailiff read Sir Divish's decree, and now I'm officially bailiff of Pribyslawitz.
As you will see,
allow me to congratulate you.
As Henry always does, he's kinda clueless.
Exactly.
Actually, I'm not quite sure.
Which we believe is a charm, actually. You know, he's an ordinary guy. He's not the superhero. He's not the chosen one. He's just the guy.
A guy that got into contact with humans and other different stuff. But I don't know who it was. Was it PC Gamer? Some media, I cannot remember who it was anymore. They said the most interesting thing on Henry is how uninteresting he is. In terms of that he's so like the guy from outside, like the next door guy, the one you can relate to, or like not the chosen one. No, he hasn't the dragon mark on
We were so afraid, so damn afraid, because like the first, I would say, at least 3 hours in the game, you get your ass kicked so much. And it was intentional, but we were really afraid because, you know, in your superhero games and everything, it usually starts like you're totally overleveled, you kill everything, and then something happens, so you start kind of from the beginning. But we really, in our game, it's hard at the beginning.
So, we are at Pribyslawitz and we are about to build something. Tell us how this works. What is this DLC actually about then?
Okay, so in these DLCs you can build multitude of buildings, but it's not a city builder. We knew that we couldn't do anything like that in the time we had for that, because as you always know, fixing the bugs was always the priority for us, so we knew we had time to do something. So it's more like a financial game and building your own place. So you kind of have to be smart. If you're not smart, it will cost much more money than it could have. So you kind of have to see what buildings do what buildings give you some bonuses to other buildings. And if you're smart, you can really, with not that much of money, you can really attain a profit very easily. If you're not smart, it will be harder.
Money is a very good point. Really quick, what's happening here? What should I do?
Ah yeah, he's kind of greedy, so he wants a wage.
Original
and he
wage.
wants more.
Sounds good.
It's just a continuation of your work for Stadivish, so I see no reason to change the conditions now.
Let's see.
Well,
Yes.
it seems we understand.
And this is actually a new thing. This will be in a patch we will release very soon. We're already preparing a patch that will
Quite.
fix if there's some bugs and add some new stuff.
Besides,
You're building buildings, obviously, and they give you some profit and other bonuses. But around the world, there's some people or some, places or things you can do that will give a new bonus to the places. And what the feedback we had from the release is that people are kind of unaware when something like this happened. So we added this informational box that will tell you, okay, you did something that helped you with your village. And the text that was written there will be the same text that's written in the book. So you'll always know when you do something that improves your village. That happens in the judgments, for example.
That's a very good point. So again, for those who are asking what we are playing, so this is a build which is we are preparing. So it's of course already with some fixes, because we hate bugs as well. I know Kingdom Come has some, but well, uncountable, because they're not that much, right?
Yeah, almost. We never heard of bugs.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this you can see some new stuff already here. So stash.
Yeah, you have to actually put the money in here, because another thing we wanted was that for players that buy the DLC or maybe somewhere later will buy everything we have ever released, they are not really that interested in building the village. We wanted them to not be, we didn't want that to be annoying. So the village will never take any money from your inventory. It will only take money if the buildings need some money to function from the stash. So it's kind of separated. So if you don't want to kind of build anything, or you want to do the quests first or anything, you don't have to manage the village at all.
So again, think about the stash like your deposit, right? Yes. So I was making jokes about this. What you are actually doing here for Henry is something like his retirement plan. So what it effectively does, you're right now investing into a startup Pribyslawitz.
Yeah.
And if you are lucky, in the end it will gain some money and will not bankrupt you. And that's what you can also see in this book. So I opened it, and what can we see?
And if you can maybe right now do one, move the page once more. And yeah, you can see the underpaid locator is already here. The greedy bastard takes 55 groschen a day.
Yeah, because of the dialogue we had before.
Yeah, he would take more if you failed.
Exactly. So he's the one who is on your payment roll first.
Yeah, and it's kind of said you can read, because if you couldn't read, all this will be kind of scrambled, even the numbers, and we actually have an achievement in the game that if you finish the DLC without the ability to read, you'll get an achievement.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what do we have here? So this is the most important page here, or pages, those
That's
two.
the overview.
It's the overview. It tells you on the left-hand side, we can see what buildings we currently have, which is the temporary rathouse. That's the tent we are standing in front of, and the laborers camp, we were riding across it, that was on the other side of the river. And those people, as you can or those buildings generate 0 people, meaning that no one moved to the village.
The rathouse, the laborers
camp. The rathouse, of course, and the
7
laborers
people.
camp has 7. That's what I meant. And it generates or costs you, in this case, temporary rathouse 75 groschen, and the laborers camp 25. And the bottom left, summary minus 100. Of course, that's obvious, but why is this important? Because the objective of this DLC is on the right side. You have to be able to generate 1,200 groschen per day, very important. Having a village capacity of 40 people.
True.
And the church repairs, because Divish is a very Christian guy and he wants the church to be repaired, of course. And you can see that at a certain point it will generate money. And as Prokop was already saying, in this DLC, every morning at, I don't know, 5 AM or something like that.
It's like early morning.
Early morning, you have to pay whatever is written on the bottom left. So in this case, minus 100. And this money has to be in the stash.
True.
If not, what happens?
If not, well, basically the workers will stop working and the shopkeepers will stop selling things, and they will tell you, the locator, the guy with the awesome hat, will tell you, listen, Henry, if you won't pay, the people won't work, and they won't like it. Basically, the reputation of you will go down, and people will start to dislike you, which can be dangerous. I already say that just not paying wages will never do anything drastic. But if you will later do maybe some crimes in the village and or like bad judgments during the affairs of villagers, Sir Divish can even take the office of bailiff from you. So it's kind of
screw up completely.
Yeah, you can.
But why Pribyslawitz from all places?
It's another cool story. First reason for Pribyslawitz, or Pribyslawitz in English, or whatever, nobody can say it anyway. From the gameplay perspective, it was a good place because you know the place. I would say we hoped that you would value it more because you fought for it, you paid for it, it's now yours, it was there already in the game, it was always in the game, it's not some new place, some new part, I don't know, anyway. And that was the gameplay reason for Pribyslawitz. But there was a historical reason. Actually, Pribyslawitz was a real village. It was really destroyed and it was really rebuilt. And it actually functioned up to, I'd say, 18th or 19th century. And then it was abandoned once again. So, we're Warhorse. It really was like that. Well, there's no like historical record of Henry and locator Marius rebuilding that. It was our invention, but the village is real.
Me as a player, I also think it's more interesting to see something or building something you don't know how it looked before, because people were asking why can't I rebuild the Skalitz, for example. There's some historical reasons. Skalitz was rebuilt way later, and it was not even belonging to Divish, so it was belonging to Sir Radzik and so on. It would be a little bit different. However, from the gameplay or from the player's perspective, I think it's more interesting to build something you don't know how it looked before. And that's what we're doing right now. So we have the first building already.
Yeah.
Accompanied with a nice cutscene. And if we take a look again on the map, we see, ole, we have a woodcutter's camp.
Yay.
So the map is upgrading from what you are building. And there's something new, activity giver. But we'll take a look on that a little bit later and just stroll on a little bit more. There are mushrooms everywhere. You know that the national sport of Czech Republic is mushroom. At a certain point when everything was going downhill at Kingdom Come Deliverance, we said, way before we released, we said in the end, if everything will be bad, then
you'll be eating mushrooms.
We do a mushroom picking simulator. You don't have to build in the book, yeah. So you can contact him directly, which is very good if you have a little bit more money in the stash, so that you can go from like one building to the other one.
Once again, we want it to be, you know, easy to navigate, so you can either build from the book, or if you see the locator somewhere around the village, you can ask him. But he's a cheeky bastard, so he won't build when he's sleeping or when it's too late. So he'll tell you just, oh, sorry, Henry, fuck off. Well, he's more polite.
He says fuck off in a nice way.
Exactly.
It's very, very kind of him. So we have the first building and the first people there.
Yeah.
And as you can see, we get, whenever you build something and there's like this production thing and people are supposed to work there, then you get your default NPCs. But there's actually more about that.
That's true. You can recruit basically the people you know from the game already, which you did some quests with, or you know them. You can recruit them, and they will make the village work slightly better. So once again, if you're smart, if you remember those NPCs, or if it's integrated in the game in such a way that if you are playing from the beginning, you should naturally, approach the NPCs while doing quests. There'll be a new option. Listen, man, don't you want to come to my village? It's such a cool place in the woods. Yeah, it has, tents, and that's all.
And I need your workforce.
Yeah.
Do you remember by heart how many people you can recruit? Roundabout.
There's like 13 to 15 people, I'd say, but you can never recruit all of them because there's like they're mutually exclusive. There, for example, there's like 2 armor smiths, but based on the it's like the Zak and Ota from Sasau, but only the one that you helped in quest will go to.
Great quest. Do you remember, guys? It's a quest.
Yeah,
it's a side quest actually, so not everyone saw it, but it's 2 blacksmiths are fighting each other about who's the better blacksmith, and you have to be the champion of one because they want to actually check their material in a fight. So it's a fight with bludgeons, and you have to fight for either the first or the second one, and in the end you can screw over both pretty much. So
even if you're a champion of one, you can kind of lose on purpose. So there's like
why would you do that? Of course.
Well, because you'd get money from both of that, obviously.
Oh man, Henry is.
There's always an option to screw everybody in our game. If you've played the Fritz and Matthew line to the end, you probably know.
Let us check a little further. So let me check. I think it's.
We can do one judgment if you want to, or we can. Or do you want to recruit right now?
I will go through. I hope it's the right save.
We'll see.
Let's take a look how it looks when we have a little bit more built in the village. Oh yes, nice.
We can maybe also show the graphical Easter egg. Do you know about it?
I'm not sure which one you mean.
That one.
The red one.
The red one, yeah.
Well, do we want to?
I don't know.
Well, we can actually. Why not? So, what do we see here? Obviously, the tent is not a tent anymore, and the wrecked church is not a wrecked church anymore. And we have, where are they? Oh no, where are they? Chickens?
There's no chickens in here.
No chickens in here?
No, they're like lower in the village. I think they're near the bakers and near the...
Crab DLC. I hate this game, no chickens.
Yeah, the truth. Whatever. The best thing about our game is obviously like chickens and killing chickens and eating chickens.
Guys, if you never tried it, try punch a chicken. Just do it.
Don't
ask. Yeah, just don't ask.
Yeah.
Just
they don't
do
have
it.
feelings. It's just a game.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Really. Recommended by developers. So, but what's happening here? So this is obviously. Oh, look, there's a. How is this called in English, though?
I don't know. The big bird.
The big white bird.
Yeah.
Nest. So in German it's der Storch. In Czech it's Chap.
Yeah.
And in English it's a big white bird with orange
beak.
Beak?
I think it's beak.
Okay, and he brings the babies. So we have a baby breed station there on top. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. We
sadly it doesn't generate any income.
Babies.
Babies.
Yeah. So let's take a look in the book, and it looks a little bit different. So what can you tell us about that?
Obviously, as you loaded the game, you can see that there's many more buildings built. So you're Tobi. You're still losing money, even more. You just didn't. Why did you repair the church first? You knew that it's not a smart thing to do.
But because I thought the people want to see the church, so I had to. Yeah, well, but on my plus side, I have 1,439,000 groschen and 14.8.
And you did it all by selling herbs, didn't you?
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's the herbalism
no
skill.
cheats ever.
Never.
Okay.
I'm an honest gamer.
Yeah, sure.
Hand on my heart.
Okay.
If you would have... Well, okay. So, yeah, and you can see that what happened already. We have village capacity of 40 people. So we did that already, of course. It's just a nice gimmick, right? So it's just that more people are living in your village. It's nice that more people will be running around. Most important for Divish is the church repairs. Divish in the game, and probably even in back then, was a very Christian guy, pious, and his when he gives you the quest, he wants you to build the church. Yeah. Don't forget the church, right? And there's the reputation thing.
You're at 100. Cool,
everyone loves me.
I mean, they like the church.
You guys, come on. Yeah. It's the beard.
Yeah. And the church, it's not only because Divish is somehow very pious. Back there, everybody, or almost everybody, Christianity was in the middle of the Europe. It was just the thing. It was, and the church wasn't only just a religious thing. It was the center of the village. People really went there to ask about, the anything. They meet there. It was like meeting place. It was really like,
let's meet in the church. If we see if we see the book here now, it's upgraded again, so you can see that several things were built. And if we take a very close look on the left, because the higher, that's important, the higher, let's show you, the higher tier buildings require special ingredients. Here you
resources.
See livestock, resources, prerequisites. So this building here, the bakery, needs grain, of course. This building needs livestock and so on. And these are connected to, if you want to call it like mini quests kind of.
Really simple one.
You have to find them on the map somewhere.
And the only, once again, it's a mostly financial thing, so the only thing you can kind of invent is there's like more people which you can, for example, buy livestock, so you can like see which one is, has a better price, or which one is kind of easier to persuade. So that's, once again, a thing you can do to make profit sooner or easier. But which is a cool thing, it's, once again, to the map. You can see it on the map. You can see that you have a livestock there, you have the grain here. Guys, you probably can't see whether I'm pointing, but whatever.
Thank you for
I'm
showing.
not used to streaming.
Thank you for
I'm
showing me. So it's there. It's just here, right?
Yeah, believe us.
Yeah, you just saw it right now.
There's the stone and the coal.
And most of the buildings have upgrades, so you can upgrade them here. The big Rathaus or town hall we have already can be upgraded with an alchemy bench, can be upgraded with the herb garden. I see that we have the bench already, that's great. If we take a look at the church, it can has altars and frescoes. We will take a look on them. Very important, the forge. As you can see on the right side, it generates 500 groschen per day. And on the left side, you can see that if you invest either for improvement A or B, you can have either a swordsmith or an armorsmith. Yeah, right?
True.
And what do they create? Actually, some items or some unique stuff? Or how does it work?
There's like you have.
Why are there this like upgrades and connections and?
There's a new shop, so he has a new inventory. Most of the things are the things you know from the base game. There's a few new ones. The weaponsmiths have a new sword. The armorsmith has a new armor with a new basically paint. It's all the new items in Pribyslawitz are kinda wooden or wild animal focused, so the shield has a boar on the shield, the sword is called Tusk, and the bow and under there is called Szlacha in Czech. I have no idea what's the name in English. The
string? No.
No. Whatever.
Ligament. I think it's whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. There's the beer, it's called like Pribyslawitz boar and something like that. And so if you build the this specific upgrade, there will be a new shop. The merchant will have more money, new inventory, new thing for you, and he will also, but all the merchants in Pribyslawitz do that, he'll also buy your stolen stuff.
Good guy Marius is waiting for us down there already. I decided to build the guardhouse, so he went to the front. But that's very important to understand, and that's what Prokop just saying. This village here, and if we take a look on the map again, this is actually your new home. Yeah, and when we were creating this DLC, internally we called it New Homes when we were working on it. So the
it's our
project
internal name.
Yeah, and because in this village you will actually collect and unite pretty much all the kind of gameplay mechanisms and many things of Kingdom Come in this one place. So what's happening is that you will have your own fighting arena. That's what we are going to build right now. You will have your own archery range. We have a laboratory already. The upgrade is already in there, so you don't need to look for laboratories. You can do it at your home. You will have a herb garden. You have the pub, in which you can brew your own beer, and the beer, your own beer works like the Savovitz, the savior potion, savior potion, right? And it's again your beer, kind of. Alchemy, I was talking about it. You have new weapons if you decide to build the weaponsmith. You will have unique armor if you decide to build the,
a shield.
Or shield. If you buy the armorsmith, you will have whatever in your own hometown. And what's the coolest of all, and it's also the most expensive building, and that's why, to show you, I built it already. So if you have it in fully upgraded, you will have the priest will move in there. Yep. But what is the most important thing is that since this is your place, right, your home,
you paid for it.
You paid for it. So it's also your church, kind of,
because if it's dedicated to you.
If you take a very close look at paintings are in Rattay in all the churches and most of the castles, you can see them already. But if you take a very, very close look on the building, on the paintings, then you see yourself here, and you see
it's Henry.
Skallets burning, and you see some cumens here. And for those who learned Latin, it says 1403 Skallets in Igne. Skallets on fire.
Yeah,
right?
if you play The Witcher, you know what Igne means, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you take a very close look, there's even like details.
Yeah, well, it's most obvious here when he's talking to Sir Radzig. He doesn't have the sword because he lost it.
Stupid Henry.
Yeah.
But this is Sir Radzig, and you're becoming his squire right now, or something like a squire. Here in the next picture, you see yourself fighting against Runtyr on the top, and he has, of course, no helmet. So here you go.
Yeah.
You see the cumens and bandits here down. Oh no, here cumens and bandits down there, right? And you see then here on the right side, that Sir Divish is giving you the title. You don't own the place. Very important. It's not. You're not becoming a lord or something. You're just becoming a bailiff. So you're managing it for.
Yeah, it's still
Sir Divish.
Sir Divish owns everything. And actually, cool thing is that this is the frescoes. It's not just some Easter egg of ours. It really happened. If you invested a lot, if you like rebuild a church for somebody, or if you paid for rebuilding of a church, they really. One thing you could do is you could have wanted to be painted there. You couldn't have been like. Like a saint. This would be a sacrilege if there was a Henry there.
Around.
Yeah, but there could be like a small, frescoes of yours. So it's not unheard of. It's really historical thing.
Like this skeleton.
Yeah.
Very, very historical skeleton hiding here. Oh, he doesn't like me going around with the torch. But if you take let's light it again so it's a little bit more clearer to see. So if you take a look on the altar. It's Henry again. Henry has come to pray for us. And on the other side, it's Sir Divish who granted you the title. And in the middle, it's not baby Jesus, but regular Jesus, but still Jesus. So, praise the Lord, and let's go on. So that's a cool thing. Again, this is your Pirate Bay, kind of, because you collect all the things you kind of saw already in Kingdom Come, and that's why I personally recommend to either connect this DLC to a new game or use a save you already created somewhere, because if you play it in the end, you lose kind of the advantages of this place, because effectively you build something like the tavern or weaponsmith or whatsoever, and you use the items to then go on your journey, and then you can collect more money again, and you will have an advantage of those things here. But when in the end of the game you usually are sitting on a pile of money, and this, in the worst case for you, is sufficient to build everything here, and then you lose kind of the advantages.
During the end game, really, it could, and that's the feedback we were getting, and it kind of saddened us, but it's like it is. If you really if you're in the end game, you have loads and loads of money. You will just finish the DLC very quickly. That's true.
That's why, guys, try with the new game, maybe with the hardcore mode. Not necessarily though. Or where's Marius? Is he angry that I let him wait?
Yeah, he won't wait forever. He'll just go back.
Marius, I was going sightseeing, man. No hard feelings, bro.
Hopefully he won't demand more money, man.
Well, I hope not.
You're already 200 in minus, so.
Oh yeah, but well, I don't care with my money. 1
have
million.
More than 1 mil, true.
Where is this guy? But whatever. There he is.
Dude,
I said work. Okay. Can you tell me? No. Let's build.
To build something.
Okay.
Certainly.
Yeah. What should it be? It's buildings in the village center, and it's a guardhouse.
Guards to protect the village. And
Yes.
Let's go to the site. I'll see you to the building.
Let's do it, mister.
Yes.
Go. Oh, this side. No? The other way around. I told you it's on the other end. Sometimes you just need to remind him.
He waited there for so long that he was drinking, obviously, you know.
A drink? Well, he was waiting next to the pub.
Look at him, maybe. Yeah. Another thing we are currently patching, and which is already patched here, that his roads should be more like natural. In the version we released, he sometimes were making a really quick moves, which didn't look so good. So it should look much better now.
And let's just pretend there's not a pig standing in the middle of the village.
Why shouldn't we pretend? He's nice.
It's nice. It's really, a hell pig, actually.
Look at him. He's so fluffy
and friendly.
Yeah.
I totally want to pet him. So let's run away before Marius decides that he doesn't like my job offers. Yeah. Don't go anywhere. I'm here.
Indeed. Can we begin?
So as you can see, whenever you build something, it was accompanied with a nice little cutscene. And let's do it. Do it now. What a beautiful cutscene. And I'm not saying that because the guy who made it is sitting right next to me and taking care of the stream.
Yeah.
I mean it.
Are you serious?
No.
Marius, dude, I was standing and waiting here and you... Well... this time. Okay? Good. So, I was talking about collecting all the features of the game or mechanics in one place. And the combat arena is extremely cool because so far, and correct me if I'm wrong, you can not really train all the weapons on the map or all...
You can, but you can't make any combination you wanted to. So right here, the arena here, it will allow you to say who should be my opponent, how skilled he should be, what should he be wearing, what weapon should he be using. Right now, you could train with Sir Bernard, for example, and many people do because the combat system is really different from any other game, so people and the players really like to get a hang of it. And right here, you can train against any opponent you could meet in the game.
Even fist fight, so that's a good thing. And if you remember the RPG system and everything, so this will be your place where you can level up all your fighting skills with all the weapons.
Yes, true.
So, what's this ominous activity giver here?
Let's see.
And what the hell does he have this huge machete? Whatever. So...
maybe he's your next butcher.
Maybe. So, we have, if we go, judge.
Yes.
What can you tell me about the judge before I started?
We wanted to add another thing to the game. So there's some... the villagers have their own, I would say, bickering or affairs on anything. They disagree with each other, or sometimes when you build a new building, somebody will come to your village and will ask if he can work there. You're trying to show the Easter egg, don't you?
I have no idea what this red thing could be.
Yeah.
Continue.
So, and as you were appointed a bailiff, you should decide who's right, who's wrong, and all these decisions has some small effects on the village.
So what can happen is there are kind of 3 types of judgments you can do. The first one will somehow affect the income or cost of a building, so that when you decide in favor of this building, kind of, then it will either generate more money or cost you less. Then there's like the generation of money, I mean. Then there's the second thing where you either lose people in the village or
gain new ones,
meaning that they have a problem. You decide somehow and they say, no, I will not live in this place anymore, I leave. Or the other way around, they say, cool, can I move to a place, right?
Or you'll make a decision that will improve the life in your village, so some new unnamed NPCs will come to your village.
And reputation, of course.
Let's see.
So let's see.
This bitch here tried to kill me. Have her clapped in the stocks where she belongs.
That's not true, Master Bailiff, sir. He got drunk, like he always does, and ate who knows what kind of slop somewhere.
You know very well what it was what poisoned me. You're trying to get rid of me and don't think I don't know it.
Enough, one at a time.
So, how does it work? Usually, sometimes it's easier, sometimes a little bit more complicated. But here we have to play Sherlock Henry and have to actually gather some clues, ask the people, and then in the end decide on the matter.
Yes.
What makes you think she tried to poison you?
She hates me.
Of course.
Put me in the ground and then take the farm. I can see it in her eyes. She's just wishing for the day I'm dead. But she'll never see it, because I'll throw her out on her ear.
Throw me out from my own home? You useless ale-swilling pig. Have you forgotten who got you a roof over
These
your
are actually people working in the village already. These are not just new spawned NPCs. These two are working for the smiths.
So those, and that's a good good information, because those judges or judgments or those things here are triggering randomly by things you either build in the game or saw in the game or something. So let's say you build the butcher, and this will unlock new events that are eventually somehow related to the butcher. So they will, on a time, you will see the what question mark, but exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark is Wykrzycznik.
The Wykrzycznik, and then you have these, and then you can decide. Oh, you can decide. You can ask, and then if in the end, if you said I heard enough, we can decide. So guys, is the farmer a brute?
Yeah, let's vote.
What woman banished for trying to poison her husband? Well, I didn't ask enough questions, so it's a little bit unfair. But what do you think, guys?
Yeah.
Should we banish?
What should we do?
Banish the girl, or him, or I don't care?
Let's see.
You guys should expand this idea more. Yeah. I think I'm not sure what's the right. Well, actually, from what I learned right now is that he got wasted as hell, went home, ate some food he found on the table.
Yeah.
And
got the runs.
And the next day he felt sick, strangely, yeah. And he blames his wife for poisoning him. Farmer, brute, farmer.
It's like
farmer.
Completely farmer.
Farmer, you pig.
Won't touch another drop of booze, or I'll leave you in the stocks.
Dude, do this kid. And this is people have to learn how to get wasted, because you cannot get wasted right like this and then blame it on your better half. Don't, guys.
Thank you 1,000-fold. You're a wise and just man.
Right now, you can see that he was called Malice, and Malice must be sober. And if you now go to the city book, or the ledger, let's see what that did to our village.
So let's take a look on that. Run. God save you, Henry. Jesus Christ be praised.
Yes.
Yes.
Henry is visiting us. Gods be praised.
I feel quite hungry. So.
Okay, let's move on. I think it's in the...
Porch.
There, Malice must be sober. And it generates 5 money for us.
Better, in Czech Republic you say better than getting poked by a cable in the eye.
True.
That's what you say in Czech Republic, so 5 groschen getting it per day is better than getting poked with a cable in the eye. Czech Republic is such a nice place.
Yeah, such nice people.
Yeah, and this is pretty much it. This is From the Ashes.
Well, you can recruit somebody if you want to.
Sure, but we are playing for 45 minutes already, and we need to go through some questions. But
yeah, let's.
What is important is that, and Prokop was saying it, that this DLC is, it's more like a finance management system where you have to decide which building you are building when. You have to take care that you are winning money and not losing it, or in the other way around, that you have to gain some money in the world and reinvest it here in your own village. You will become a judge, so you will have to stand here and make your decisions. This will affect your village again, and it's a very nice addition to the regular vanilla game and makes it just way bigger and way more interesting, I would say. Because
basically, you always have some place where you can spend your money. You know, we had a problem with the economy during the later stages of the game where you didn't have anything to buy. So this will give you the place. This will give you the place where you can spend your money and always earn something which will be useful to you.
Okay, let me go through some questions. If you have, by the way, any questions, now is the time to put them on the chat, and I will try to find something. So there's the first thing I see. Can we build a wall? No. Fortified village. That's again more like a historical thing. Fortified, in terms of having a wall and a castle and so on, is mainly reserved for cities or the places where nobility was living, or if there was some, let's say, silver mining, cash, something places. But this is just a regular village in the woods, so there's unfortunately no building, no castle or wall needed. So, will DLC from the Ashes receive any further content updates? Home for Henry, grindstone, repairing boots, a bath, more things to do for bailiff, more buildings, repeatable quests, and so on.
Well, there will be some small additions very soon, because once again we wanted to make some small fixes, and while doing it we added some little things like your own grindstone there, because we had a problem that when you build an armor smith there was no grindstone. So little things like these, some additions right now, and later on we don't know. Maybe right now we still want to, you know, mostly fix the bugs in the KCD1. It's much better now, much better now. But you know,
thank you for the guys who played day one.
Yeah,
they went through a very hard and stony path.
Yeah. So later on, who knows?
Okay, how will this DLC relate to the other upcoming DLCs? Will the DLCs sort of work together?
Yeah, they will. They will not be that interconnected. There's some little interconnections, like when there's new NPCs in the later DLCs, we were planning that you could recruit them as well. So there's some interlinking between those, but mostly they'll just naturally work alongside each other.
Question here is by Blesses. Will you upgrade this village to a bigger and bigger? And as well, man, I love this game. This was mind-blowing. Thank you very much, Blesses.
Thank you, really.
No, so from building wise, currently the plan is, or it will stay as it is. So what you have is, correct me if I'm wrong, 12 buildings or so.
There's like 13 buildings or 14, but you can't build all of those.
Yeah, so you have
like
how many slots do you have?
12 slots, I'm not sure, to be honest.
So there's
12, 11, 13, like that.
Okay, and then we will probably not add more buildings to that. But never say never. I mean, whenever you remember, whenever we patched something, we came up with some special new stuff. So maybe there's something coming. Grindstone would be easy to. We will see about this. We'll see about this.
Well, Pribyslawitz never grew to a town or anything from a historical perspective, so we kind of wanted to keep it as it was. So it should stay a village always. Maybe we'll add some small things, but it'll probably never grow to a fortified castle or something like that.
So let me go through this. Oh, that's a critical one. Let's talk about critical stuff.
Sure.
So I unfortunately don't have the names here, but hopefully he hears that. So there's a guy who obviously did not like the DLC.
Yeah.
And he says, well, now I missed the. Oh, okay. He says that, in his opinion, the DLC missed the mark, and if we think that we misjudged what the community wanted.
I actually don't think that at all. I completely understand any criticism that came, and there were quite a few that mostly people liked it, but if they played it at the end of the game, they felt that it was really short. Fair criticism, fair enough. But we wanted to make a new home. We didn't want to. The first DLC isn't meant to be like many new quests or new quests. We really wanted to create a home for Henry, and we did that. And there was another reason for that. As the DLC, we really worked for that for quite some time, and we wanted to do something asset heavy, so a lot of graphics, and not that much of a time of our programmers or scripters that were really busy fixing bugs. And that was our priority. So we really wanted, our first priority was to make the Kingdom Come as good as possible, as bug-free as possible. So we wanted the first DLC should be something that were like a lot of new graphics and cool places to stay, but not that much of a new content like quest-wise. And that's what we did. But nevertheless, I understand the criticism if somebody plays that at the end of the game and feels it's quite short. I understand that.
So there's one question we already answered, but just to remind for those people who didn't see it, why you didn't choose to rebuild the village of Henry. Skalitz can't be rebuilt. So why Pribyslawitz from all places, just for those who maybe...
Because there might be some plans for Skalitz later on, like much later on. And from historical perspective, it happened much later on. So yeah. Skalitz really was... We didn't want to like change history, so we didn't do that. That's the main reason for that. And also, you know, it wouldn't be that new for you. You know, Skalitz was already working at the start of the game, so if you were just rebuilding it, we could have done like small changes, but it would feel the same as it did at the beginning of the game. We wanted to do something new.
There's someone asking, I've beaten the game, will I enjoy this DLC? Well, probably, maybe not. We do recommend to play it again with a new game, or like implement it into your regular playthrough or with the existing save, just because you lose the advantages and the struggle of getting money, which you would have if you come to this point naturally. So yes, you can play this in the end of the game, but it makes way more sense if you connect it to the...
Yeah. I think you will enjoy it, but you might feel it's too short. So basically the feedback we are getting is mostly like that. People like it, but if they are playing it at the end of the game, some of those feel it's short. They have all the money, so they just tell the locator what he should build, and then they enjoy it for a while, and that's it.
Just one information, please, in the chat. Can you put at Warhorse Studios when you place the questions? Because otherwise I have a little bit of a hard time to get through the text here, right? So whenever you have a question, write at Warhorse Studios and then post your questions. Okay, so there's Felier. When new updates are coming, when new updates and DLCs will come, and are you... So he's probably asking when new DLCs are coming and if we're ever going to expand the map. So let me say something about that. New DLCs, or well, the next DLC is the amorous adventures of Bold Sir of whatever, Hans Capen. The amorous adventures of Bold Sir Hans Capen, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Let me tease you already. I will show this on Gamescom to press. Right, so probably some time after Gamescom we are going to release this. When exactly, I can't tell you yet, but I will show this to press in some kind of work in progress.
We're already deep in production on that, so it shouldn't be years away.
So there's a very nice question. Any chance we will see this? Any chance we will see our sword again? Okay. Next question.
No comment.
Do we have official Instagram? Unfortunately not. Only unofficial ones. Guys, there's... Well, whatever. There's someone on Instagram claiming to be us. Whatever. Just like him. I mean, he's nice. Or her. So... let me go through the questions as well. there's someone who says that archery and unmarked skill tree, unarmed skill tree would be a great addition.
Archery is there, and unarmed is there
a skill
as well.
tree.
Skill tree. You mean? Well, there's no skill trees right now. We have the perks that have specific perk with these, but there are no skill trees in the game right now, and we will probably not. We won't change that.
So let me ask here. Okay, so there is Spectissa asking us, is there going to be any new adventurous quest for Henry? Just started the game this week and love it so much. I would say you killed some chickens.
Yeah, I did. And I love
Focus, man! Focus! This is important,
The
man.
game is so good, you know, I can't focus on anything else.
So asking about additions. So if you just played the game, I mean, beat it first. But then, of course, if you take a look on the DLC roadmap, the first one is this city building thing currently, kind of in some place, right? Managing. The second one with Sir Hans Capon is, I will just say it, it's like a quest pack kind of. So it adds a new, very interesting and very funny quest line.
Yeah.
But it will be connected in some way. Maybe it comes later. We'll have to see that with the tournament mode. So this tournament will be free. Capon will be a premium DLC again. And if we manage to release them in the same time, great. Then you will have this adventures thing and the tournament as a special feature going on.
The second DLC is very different from the first one. It's we right now have more time to really do quests. We don't have to fix so many bugs no more. We're still fixing bugs, but not so many. So the next one should be really like quest heavy. It's more like light-hearted oriented. It should be funny. There's really funny characters. Most of those you know already from the game. Sir Hans Capon, obviously, and the others I won't tell who they are right now.
So, asks, is it possible to leave the village and come back later whilst the building are being constructed?
You can leave the village anytime and you can come back anytime. The one of our goals was the village shouldn't like trouble you while you're on your quests or anything, so it's completely fine to go away and do some quests. And the buildings kinda the time flies during the cutscene or before the cutscene. So you don't have to wait for the buildings. You are actually waiting. Henry is waiting, but you as a player is not. So there's no reason to wait for the structures to be built.
Do we want to talk about something critical again?
Sure.
So Fritz Frügel and Apple Pie 66699 are pretty much almost asking the same questions. Fritz asked, how do you feel about the fact that only 65% of reviewers on stream are positive on the DLC? And the next one, how do you guys feel about bad reviews? It's pretty much the same. Well,
I can maybe add something. I've read basically all of those, and there's quite a few already. If the people don't like it because of the bugs, well, we are fixing them. Very soon there'll be a new patch which will hopefully fix most of those. But it's true that most of the negative reviews just don't like the DLC. They don't like, and most of those that don't like the DLC are kind of saying, look guys, it's nice, I really like it, but you know, I kind of played it when I finished the game. I had 100,000 of groschen. I did all that. I finished that in 2-3 hours. Listen, guys, it's like too few. I expected more. Sorry, we can't. You know what can we say? We really want it to be incorporated in the game. That's how it is. You know, we're not. You know, if that's the criticism. It's honest criticism. I understand that. It saddens me. I would really hope for the reviews to be more positive, but at least people kind of like what they see. They just think that there's not enough of that.
Keegan Ingressia asked, any plans for additional equipment, new weapons, armor, and clothing? And in the same time, Blesses is asking, will you put removal tools for building? If we can remove buildings. So he he built like stables, but wants a guardhouse instead, and so on. So can you remove buildings?
You can't right now.
Will we?
We are kind of thinking about that, but it won't be in the patch that will be releasing soon.
So this is still, and you know us, we take these info. If you have those infos and feedback, send it to us either through our forums. You will find everything at kingdomcomerpg.com, or through our social media, or support@warstudios.cz. Send us your feedback. Tell us, listen, the saving system does not work as I would like. A lot of people did that. We patched it. Now there's a save and quit, and we actually really listen to your feedback. So whenever there's something major, like I want to be able to remove buildings, tell us, and we will at least consider it and talk about it, and then try to implement it in a clever way into the game.
We really do listen. Not only our PR guys, we really like the designers or the programmers or the any department here. The information what you don't like and what you like gets to us. We're really trying to communicate and to see what you like and what you don't like.
How about those new equipment, weapons, armor, and stuff? Are we planning something like this?
We might add something, maybe even to the DLC, but not much. Probably not as much as people would like to. There'll be some new in the next DLCs.
Okay, guys. Let's finish this. So give me your very last questions, and I will try to find something and let's talk about this. So already I want to say thank you very much for joining us.
Definitely.
I hope it was fun. I enjoyed.
It was fun for us.
I hope you liked Prokop as well. He did a great job, so thank you very much.
Thank you
for being with me. I will take the last 3 questions now, and then it's time to go home and drink
some savior potion.
Henry brew. How was it called? The Henry's
Pribyslawitz boar, I think.
Pribyslawitz boar. Again.
Let's see. We can, go there and drink some. If you have the, beer. Brewery.
There's an interesting question. Rent Locher or Locker asked, can we get some deco options for the town, like quart colors, armors, and so on? Again, please don't think about this like as your village, and also don't think about this like Fallout, like Fallout did it. So it's really not that you place here a nice bush and there a robot and there something. It's really more the financing, managing thing, right? Just because we have to have some, we can't do unlimited things here, and we had to decide to like frame it somehow, and this is so far the best we came up with. And of course we are thinking about add some here, something there, something, but it will be minor changes, no huge things.
Like that.
Okay.
Take a look at the site.
So no, unfortunately, no deco options like that. Again, questions about the DLC. So this one is the building thing. The Hanscapen DLC will be a quest line, so it will be more new quests.
Yeah.
The third one, on the picture, obviously there is some kind of knights or attackers or something on mounted, and it's called Band of Bastards. So obviously eventually there will be something about fighting. So probably a quest line where fighting will be very important.
Yeah. But definitely new quests.
New quests. And the last one is a picture of Teresa. That's no secret anymore. And this is called internally, we call it internally Promises to Keep. So this will focus on the stuff we unfortunately couldn't get into the game from Kickstarter time. So take a look on the Kickstarter pages that we were talking about a dog companion, we are talking about a quest line as a female, or from the view from the female, from Teresa actually. It's already stated in Kickstarter, and this is what you get in the last DLC. So a quest line playing as Teresa, and a dog companion for throughout the game. Or
throughout
the game. So your doggo goes with you, and we have the Pribyslawitz boar. Very good.
Right here.
Henry has his own beer.
Take it. You want to read it, or we just drink it and end with a cool drink.
TZZT. No, TLZZL. Oh, that should be supposed to be a face. So face is asking if the next stream can focus on the art department. Blah blah blah. Yes, actually, I would like to stream more. To be honest.
Yeah, let's stream with other people. You know,
let's stream with other
many
people.
Interesting people here.
Just post this everywhere on all the social media. Hey guys, more streams and add me.
Those cool guys from Warhorse.
Yeah, I want to see more beard. So yeah, why not?
Sorry, not with me.
We usually stream only when there's like a E3 or Gamescom or something. We had a special build there. We were showing to media, and then we were showing it to you guys. And we did this before we released the game. So whenever we showed something to media, we then showed it to you. Now that the game is released, we kinda slowed down in streaming, and I think we should change that. If you liked it, we should change that.
Tell us, really. Send us your feedback. Do you like us streaming more? Or do you want some more conversation on our forum, on our Steam forum? Tell us.
Okay, and with that, I would say...
Let's punch a priest.
No, don't.
Okay.
We're not doing bad stuff here, right? Reputation is very important.
True.
And that's one
He'll report me, the cheeky bastard.
And this is one of the ways how to lose this DLC, and we don't want to lose the DLC, right?
Okay.
We want to go home.
Well, you'll never lose it. You can just load.
Yeah. Well, be a bit more
careful,
Prokop.
Okay.
So, guys, thank you very much for joining the stream. I wish you a very nice morning if you're in the USA, a very nice night if you're somewhere in Sydney or so, and we are going into, it's 6:30 already in Prague, so we are going home now. See you next time, be nice to each other, and say hi on our social media.
Yeah. Bye,
See you guys. Bye.